Are you tired of awkward silences and stumbling through conversations? Sick of feeling like your message is getting lost in translation? Are you ready to level up your communication skills like a boss? Well, if you are, you're in the right place. My name is Kathy Riley. I'm your host and communications expert with only over 25 years in the litigation arena and another 15 as an entrepreneur. Tune in as we serve up piping hot blend of tools, systems, and techniques guaranteed to revolutionize the way you connect with others. From mastering the art of tough conversations to cultivating a mindset that screams confidence, we're here to help you dominate every interaction like a pro, all while uncovering the secrets to leading yourself and others with grace and grit. At Breaking Bad Communications, we're not just breaking bad habits, we're shattering communication barriers personally and professionally. So, I have a question for you today. Tell me, when was the last time you really needed help? I mean, like, really, really needed help and you didn't ask. Now, this is a question that literally brought me to my knees, and the year was 2011. I'll tell you a story about it in a minute, but let me tell you, on the other side of it, I've learned that there are ways, and there's a system that I will share, a three-step process that will help you be able to ask for help the next time you need to. Because we really, so many of us don't. We think other people are too busy or we're undeserving or it's just easier for us to do it ourselves, right? My mindset was literally, it's like, well, I could ask you for help to do this, but then I'd have to take all the time to explain what I needed to do. And then you're probably going to do it wrong. So then I'm going to have to redo it anyway. So it's just easier if I do it myself, right? How many times have we hesitated asking for help? But then if we consistently unable to get to the point where we can ask for help when we really, really need it, we'll hesitate then too. And I'm here to tell you that that can lead to a major problem. And it did for me. So this is quite a few years ago, 2011. And my daughter was 5 at the time. My husband and daughter were heading up to the mountains to go skiing, and I had the day to myself, and as a mom, I mean, I was working, I had a 9 to 5er. I was an entrepreneur running my business, and I was a mom, homeowner, wife, horse owner, I was juggling a lot. And this is the first time, because my daughter was 5, that I had the day to myself. I mean, they were going away. So I was like, oh my God. So it was beautiful. I went back to bed. So I got to sleep in, past 6 a.m. I got to take a long, hot shower uninterrupted. It was wonderful. Even the dog left me alone. It was great. And I got to do whatever I wanted. That morning, I bent down to pick something up and I felt and heard a pop. And I went, hmm. Okay. And I just, paused and took a moment and kind of did an inventory. I wasn't really sure what it was. I just wasn't sure. And I did what a lot of us do. I told myself, it's nothing. It's probably nothing. And then the day progressed and I just started feeling uneasy and just, you know, not 100%, but I wasn't sure. I couldn't pinpoint what was going on. And then I got up from the couch. So I just decided to watch. I'm an introvert. Okay. So I just decided to have the day to myself. And I put on a funny rom-com, right? Because I love comedies and I just wanted to laugh. So I finished the movie and I stood up, and this wave of pain and nausea hits me like a brick. And I literally fall to my knees. And that point I knew, I'm like, uh-oh, I was going to toss my cookies. I'm like, this isn't good. And I'm the one that cleans the house. So, and I'm anal retentive. So, and I have a pretty clean house. So I'm on the carpet and I see, just about 4 or 5 feet away is the tile floor. So I literally crawl commando style across the rug to the tile floor and let go. And I place my head down on the tile floor and it's so cold and it feels so good. And I start thinking to myself, uh-oh, like this isn't nothing. So what is it? What's going on? And you're doing an inventory of your body. What's going on? And is my belly, why is my belly upset? So and I, thinking, should I call somebody? What should I do? Do I call 911? I mean, this doesn't seem normal. But then what I lovingly call the itty bitty shitty committee kicks in. And I'm like, oh boy, you're being a drama queen. You haven't eaten much, right? You took your vitamins, you haven't eaten much, your belly's upset, you just need some food, maybe a little bit of a tea. You just need to chill out. Don't be a drama queen. And it was going on and on and on. So guess what I did? Nothing. I didn't pick up the phone. I didn't call for help. I literally talked myself out of it. And the day progressed, and I realized that if I don't move, I feel fine. So, I really didn't move much. My husband called about an hour later, and I said, honey, I think, yeah, maybe you should come home because I'm not really sure if this is something I need to worry about. I get home, and he's talking to me on the phone on the way, and he's like, well, let's just take you to the ER. And I'm like, okay. So my daughter comes in, gives me a smooch, and she goes next door, and her neighbor thankfully takes her, and he comes back, and I stand up, right? And I'm like, okay, let's get going. And I black out. I just drop to the ground. Next thing you know, I'm in the car, and I've got this little Tupperware bucket because I guess not much is staying in right now. And I'm like, okay. And we run to the hospital. So he's my Prince Charming, my safe person. He takes me to the hospital, and and then rushed in for emergency surgery. It was an ectopic pregnancy. You see, that morning, my right tube had burst and I had been bleeding out all day. So the doctors confirmed one thing: I have a very high threshold for pain. But then the other thing was they also confirmed that I naturally got pregnant. So my daughter's in vitro, and I'm a very positive thinker. So that's all I could think of was, wow, I actually got pregnant. And it wasn't until fully recovered, right, months later, that I'm at this conference, and this question was posed to me: when was the last time you really needed help? Really, really needed help and you didn't ask? And it dawned on me, and that was that day that I had gone, I hit literally my rock bottom. My knees hit the ground, and I was in a lot of pain, and I talked myself out of calling for help. I justified it that, my friends and my neighbors, they're busy. It's a Saturday. They've got lives. It's more important. I waited until my safe person, my husband, came home. And then I was okay with bugging him. And as I was looking at my 5-year-old daughter, I was like, yeah, this has to change. This has to change. I've got to show up differently so that I mean, she's 5. What's she learning from me? She's learning that I can't even ask for help. And if I can't, how is she supposed to? So that was where I drew the line in the stand. And I had to take a stand, show up for myself, and get really uncomfortable. Really uncomfortable. And I learned a lot of tools and systems and things that I implement, and it's something that I work on every day. I literally have to work on this every day. That itty bitty shitty committee, it never goes away. You can help it and create a positive committee up in that subconscious of ours, but it never truly goes away. When you have enough people in your world that tell you that you're unworthy, kind of sticks with you. But we can reprogram it in a way that you can be confident enough to use your voice. It'll be uncomfortable, but you can do it. So this 3-step process that changed my world, quite honestly, you guys, this is awesome, and save this for later because you're going to want to hear this. Is the first step is to find a safe person. So who's the one person in your world that you could that knows you inside and out, that you can be the most authentic version of you in front of them. You can speak your mind, you can say what you need to say, you can be real, and you can ask for help. Who's that one person? That one person. For me, it was my husband. He knew me inside and out, the good, the bad, and the ugly. So, who is that safe person for you? Maybe it is your spouse or your partner. Maybe it's a sibling. Um, maybe it's somebody at work. Who is that? So, first of all, identify that person. And then what we're going to do is we're going to get them involved in this. So, we go from safe person to creating a safe space. So, how do we create a safe space? Well, first of all, we tell them, look, I'm doing an experiment. Okay, I'm going to do an experiment for the next couple months. And so I want you to be my safe person. And so ask permission. Will you be part of my team? Will you help me navigate this itty bitty shitty committee and using my voice to ask for help? And I'll tell you what, every client that I've ever walked this through, nobody's ever gotten a no. Um, so get them on board, because really the safe person needs to be on board with this whole thing. It's not going to work if they don't know what's going on. So you tell them that, okay, you're going to be my safe person. And so when we're together, when we're having conversations, I'm going to show up differently. I'm going to use my voice. So when I feel that hesitation, when we're having a simple conversation and there's something I want to share, and I feel that hesitation, I'm going to tell myself, okay, I'm with my safe person. It's okay. I can use my voice. I can ask for help. I can say what I want, ask for things that I want. So, safe person, creating that safe environment. And then the third thing is the toughest part is to just do it. Just do it. So, it's paying attention. So, when you're having conversations with your safe person, start paying attention to when you are hesitating. Is there something that are there times, there are going to be times where you're hesitating and you're going to feel uncomfortable. You feel that uncomfort, that anxiety of like, I want to say something, but you hesitate. So pay attention when you're with your safe person. And the next time it happens, take a deep breath of courage, exhale the fear, and speak. It's very simple. It's very uncomfortable. But when you're hanging around your safe person, there are going to be times where you feel that hesitation. And it may not just be for asking for help, it may be a number of things. But to go ahead and say what's on your mind and speak your truth. So the first time this happened for me, um, my daughter had a sleepover. So my husband and I, it's date night, which is kind of fun. That's what happens when you have an only child. And so it's date night. So we're going out to dinner. And he says, we're driving in the car and he's like, so where do you want to go? And my standard response is always, I don't know. Where do you want to go? And it's because I go with the flow. I'm easygoing, right? It's whatever. I don't care. But I realized I was craving Mexican food. And So I was like, "Ooh," my standard response is, "I don't know, I don't care. What do you want?" But I want. Like, "Okay." So I took a deep breath, inhaled the courage, exhaled the fear, and I said, "Mexican?" He's like, "Okay." And I remember thinking, "Oh my god, that was easy. That was easy." And it's like, "Okay, okay, I can do this. I can do this." You know, my heart was racing, I was breathing heavy, and I did it. I did it. It was fantastic. It felt amazing. Now, the next time we did it was probably a week or 2 later, same situation, and it got a little easier. This time he asked, "Where do we wanna go?" And I shared. And so as the months progressed, it became easier for me to share my voice, share what I want, share my opinion, bring value, add to the conversation. It just got easier and easier and easier. About 6 months in, we're having the same conversation, and, again, my daughter has a sleepover, which means date night, so we're heading out to dinner, and God, I gotta tell you, when you find a good margarita and good nachos, so when he asked where I wanted to dinner, I was like, "Mexican?" And he's like, "No." And I'm like, "Okay, let me think, let me think. Um, how about this Italian place?" "No, no." And I'm like, "Well, how about this burger place?" And he's like, "No, I had burger for lunch." And I just looked at him and said, "Honey, you know, I have a feeling you have something that you really want to eat. So why don't you tell me what you want? Then I'll let you know whether it works or not." And I realized without even thinking about it, I showed up like that and told him that. And I was like, "Oh my God, I'm cured." It was so amazing. I showed up in such a way that I didn't feel uncomfortable when I shared. It didn't feel uncomfortable when I made him choose. It was so amazing. So I'm like, "Okay, I don't know. We're getting there." And then what I noticed is it also transcends to the other area. Like, okay, my safe person was my husband. But next thing you know, I'm showing up differently at work. I'm showing up differently at my meetings. I'm showing up differently everywhere else in my world. In fact, I was out with some girlfriends and we ended up going out for this happy hour. So we're having dinner and then we decide to go to this place to go have another drink. And they were going to charge us 25 bucks to walk in through the door because they had this band playing. And I'm like, "Guys, time out, time out. We're not here to see the band. We only want to drink. Screw that. Let's go over here." And two of my friends looked at me and like, "Well, Kathy, well, who is this girl and what has she been eating? And you make complete sense. So let's go over here." So then people started noticing, and it was so empowering. Fast forward 5 years, I'm having another health crisis. And this time, I didn't know it at the time, but it was blood clots covering both lungs. So I went to sneeze and I had this amazing pain shoot through my upper body down my spine. And I was like, I could barely breathe. And so this time, when I needed to ask for help, I was on the phone with my doctor and I'm like, "I don't know what's going on." So I have asthma, I have compromised lungs, I have a bunch of stuff going on. So they're like, "This is what we're gonna do. Go here. We don't come into the doctor's office. Da 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 da. This is what we need to do. Call my husband. Call I had a party that night, so I called a teammate to take care of that, and then I ended up calling every single neighbor, and I kept saying, "One of you is driving my butt to the ER. I don't care which one." Like, when you and my neighbor likes to joke that she was in between pickup and drop off with her 2 kids because they were at 2 different schools. So she dropped one off at the house, picked me up on the way to get the other one, swung by the ER, and she slowed down just enough to help me out. But I showed up completely different, and the doctors, they were like, they needed to treat me right away. I'm fine, everything's fine. I'm healthy as a horse, but I showed up completely different when I needed to ask for help. So I'm telling you, this simple process of finding a safe person, creating a safe space, and then paying attention to that hesitation, using courage to then speak your truth are the steps you need to use your voice and ask for help. It is a game changer. Seriously, a game changer. I'm here to tell you, it's also a chapter. It's so powerful. It's a chapter in my book, Unleash Your Inner Voice: An Introvert's Guide to Combating the Itty Bitty Shitty Committee. So if you want to go in a little bit deeper and you want to know more, go into details, right? You got to read the chapter in my book. It's pretty I go into more details, but this is the nuts and bolts of it. The 3 steps. Find a safe person, right? Create that safe space, and then use the courage to pay attention and use your voice the next time it happens. So hopefully you found this. Oh, it's so good. So good. So that's a wrap for today's episode of Breaking Bad Communication. Thank you so much for being here and tuning in. But before we sign off, don't forget to subscribe. And if what you heard today actually resonates with you, or you know somebody that needs to hear this, please share, please repost. Know this: the quality of your life is determined by the quality of your communication. And as you head back out into the world, remember, every conversation is your chance to shape your life and the lives of others. Whether it's a tough talk or a casual chat, be clear, intentional, and listen like it matters, because it really does. The better you communicate, the more your life aligns with what you truly want. So go out there, own your voice, speak your truth, make your words work for you. After all, great communication isn't just a skill, it's your superpower. See you next time.